Hi again. In my previous video, I told you about the problems that Indians faced in the interwar years. Interwar years means 1914 to 1918. Okay, when the First World War began and Britain joined it, they forced the Indian crew also to join the same. Lot of forced recruitment was done. Force means even those who were unwilling, they were forced to join the forces so that they could send a lot of Indian soldiers on various fronts that Britain was fighting on. So this was heavily disliked by the villagers. Secondly, increased taxation also burdened the common masses, and this increased taxation was to fund the British army, or you can say treasury, to fight the war. They increased taxation on Indians so that they could earn loads and they could fund their war that was going on. Then of course famines. I told you that there were a lot of famines and failure of crops, famines and epidemics like influenza. So a lot of famines and epidemics were faced by Indians, and sadly the British government, which was supposed to help them out, never did that. So in the 1921 census, it was found that around 12 to 13 million people died in the famines and epidemics in 1918. So you can imagine that how many people must have died in all these years. So 1921 census proved the callous attitude, the hard attitude of the Britishers towards Indian masses. They were ruling India, but they had no care for the well-being of the people. This all was building up rage, resentment and anger in Indian masses, but still they were told by the leaders that maybe once the war ends, then Britain will again help them out. And so they waited very patiently for war to end, but nothing like that happened once the war ended, and their resentment kept on building up. Now, during this era of suffering and rage, arrival of Gandhi, Mahatma Gandhi happened. He came back from South Africa, where he had been working as a lawyer. He had faced apartheid. So Gandhiji arrived in India from South Africa in 1915, and he had tested his tools of Satyagraha. You know, in South Africa also he had tested the tools of Satyagraha. Satyagraha means Satya ka Agrah, asking for truth to be accepted. So if suppose the people of South Africa were fighting against apartheid, so then the aim of Gandhiji was that the whites should realize what wrongs they are doing and they should give some relaxation to the South Africans. The freedom was not the concept, but it was to ease the suffering of people, and he believed that if we are asking for truth, for example, if our rights are curtailed, हमारे हक मारे जाते हैं, तो if we are asking for that, then definitely it's an appeal to the conscience of the opponent. Appeal to the conscience, like maybe the Britishers will feel that, oh, we have been doing so wrong, and then they will accept the truth and they will get back on the right path. That was what his main weapon, asking for Satyagraha, appeal to conscience, and non-violence. Means he said that violence is not required to suppress the opponent. We should appeal to the conscience of people, of opponent, here Britishers of course, and then they would realize that they have been doing wrong and they will amend, they will do away with all the wrongdoings. So that was the appeal of Gandhiji. Now, when he was appealing this, he was asked to join active politics, but he did not join active politics immediately. Okay, first effort of him joining active politics was in 1916 December, because he attended the Congress session of 1916 happened in Lucknow, my city. So there he met all the people of Congress, and from there on his action plan began. So we can say that while he was touring India, he said, if I have to address some issue or join the freedom struggle, then I should visit, because he was coming back after a long time. So he said, I will explore India, see the condition of common people, then I will join the active politics. And so he did tours. So in 1916 only, he visited Champaran, where indigo planters, the kisans that were working in the plantations, they were suffering from heavy tax burden and they were paid very less. So they had organized a Satyagraha campaign under Gandhiji in 1916 in Champaran. Now remember that this is also important for map. You may be asked that mark the place where 1916 Satyagraha was organized by Gandhiji. Similarly, 1917, it is Kheda. Here he led the Satyagraha of the farmers. They were heavily burdened by taxes and money lenders. So he helped. They were asking for some release in the taxation. So Mahatma Gandhi guided the Kheda farmers for Satyagraha. And finally, 1918, he joined the campaign of mill workers in Ahmedabad and organized a mill strike. The mill workers also were paid very less and their safety hazards were there. So they were asking the owners of the factories for some help who were not responding, and that is why Gandhiji joined these mill workers in Ahmedabad to help them out. So these three are very important for map. You know that map will be there, or even in objective it can be asked. So you should know, here the plantation workers, here the farmers, and here the mill workers were guided by Gandhiji. And then, of course, after attending 1916 Congress session, he joined and led the freedom movement of India. So that is why from 1916 or 1918 to the day we got freedom, this whole era is known as Gandhian era, because he played the most important role in leading the freedom struggle. So absorb this much. If you have any queries, you can put your queries in the comment section, and I'll be back with more videos. All the best.